Hello friends, welcome back to another video, and welcome in if you are new. I'm Nuala, and today's video is all about my goals and my vision for 2024. We're talking 2023 reflections, 2024 intentions, my vision board and my word of the year. So why not grab yourself a nice cup of tea or coffee, settle in and let's get started. To begin with, I decided that I was going to fill out the prompts that I gave my Patreons for December. So it was a list of 5 questions, basically just to kind of get you started with thinking about how your 2023 went and what your intentions are going to be for 2024. As well as this, I have been spending really the last bit of 2023 and the start of 2024 just kind of mulling over my thoughts and thinking about how things went, but it was really nice to fill out the prompts sheet that I had created for my Patreons because it really gave me a focus of what to ask myself and what to think about. Sometimes I think it can be kind of difficult to really hone in on the aspects of the year that you might have forgotten about, so that was really handy to fill those out, and it gave me a little bit of an idea of what kind of parts of my life that I wanted to change, what I wanted to keep the same, what I felt I wanted to improve on, and things like that. So it was a really nice way to round off the end of the year and start a new one. So after I finished off all of those questions, I moved on to my bullet journal. In my journal, I have a reflections page for last year and an intentions page for this year. I did this last year as well, and I found it really useful because it helped me be a little bit more specific about the feelings that I want to bring into the year and what aspects of my personal life and my business life that I wanted to improve on or change, and not necessarily focus so specifically on the goals that I want to achieve, but more so how I want to get there and the feeling that I want to have whilst I'm doing it and the journey of it. And I find that that seems to be a much better way for me to begin the year and think about what it is I want, because if I don't do it that way, I tend to kind of randomly pick goals out of the air that I think that I want, and then maybe by the end of the year I realise that actually those aren't things that I maybe intended at all, and it's because I didn't reflect or think about things properly enough to be able to actually focus on what it is that I want to get out of my year and what I want to get out of my life and my business, and being able to reflect on my previous year really helped me to focus on what it is that I want to do more of and what I want to do less of, and instead of it being kind of like this hard and fast set rule of goals and resolutions, it's more about how I want to approach the goals and the things that I want to achieve in this year. So don't get me wrong, I still have goals, I still have things that I want to do and achieve, but it's the reason I have these pages is so that I can truly understand what it is that I want to work towards, instead of just picking ideas out of the air that I think that I want. So it's been a really nice process, and I would love to know if you have any kind of process like this, or what way you approach the new year and your goals and things like that, whether you even set goals. I know for some people they don't really like sitting down and mapping things out this way, and each to their own. Everybody has a way that works for them, and I feel like it's an ever kind of evolving journey for me of how I like to approach things, because in the past I haven't always dealt with intentions well, because I usually set them as resolutions or goals and approach them in a way that was unrealistic for me. So it's been really nice to approach this in this way, and like I said, I would love to know how you approach the new year in the comments below. So getting back to what you're seeing me do on screen here, I scrolled through Pinterest and looked for a bunch of different images that kind of resonated with how I want 2024 to feel and the things that I want to do more of. I have specifically chosen not to put anything remotely kind of business related on this. In the past, I have done vision boards where I've put up things like, the YouTube logo or things like that, or like the products that I want to make. But this year, I really wanted this mood board to be more of an inspiration for the feeling that I want to get and the things that I want to do, and more about kind of life in general, because I find that the more that I kind of put into my personal life and the more kind of relaxed I feel in that sort of aspect, the better I feel at business anyway. So that's kind of the intention behind this vision board, is for me to be able to flip it open and remind myself that, the most important thing is that I fill up my own cup and spend time with family, friends, doing things that I love, so that I can feel more creatively boosted whenever it comes to my business, and that I feel like I can approach it in a really positive and exciting way. So I will link below my Pinterest board. There will be images there that I haven't actually used in this vision board, but it's just kind of a feeling of everything that I saved before printing it out to put it in my journal. So I just kind of searched different keywords and things after having done all of those prompt questions and my intentions and reflections pages. I had a better idea of what it was that I wanted to search for. So things like crocheting, reading, relaxing, nature, and then of course my word of the year, which is harmony. I will get into that a little bit more in a moment. But yeah, things like that. The image you see of the nice soft fabric and the little colour board and the nature, it's all really a feeling. The softness and the delicate nature of that fabric and the nice kind of calming, cool kind of tones that you see and warm tones you see together. It's how I want my year to feel. And how I want to approach it, both kind of physically and mentally. Like for my own mind, I want to make sure that I am resting and that I'm caring for myself enough so that I can put as much energy into all the other things in my life and not feel burnt out. So that's the feeling that I wanted to get, and that is the feeling that I do get when I look at the finished spread. Once you see it at the end, I think you'll understand what I mean. So getting back to my word of the year, it took me quite a while to really figure out what I wanted my word to be. For quite a while I couldn't differentiate between just one word. I had like a lot of other words kind of coming into play, and I didn't want it to be too confusing. I had narrowed it down to two, which was discipline and compassion. And although I was going to be kind of okay with using two words, part of me didn't feel quite right about it, so I kept kind of thinking about it, and the reason that I chose both those two words was because I want to have more discipline in life when it comes to how I approach things. And I don't necessarily just mean with business, because that still is something that I need to do sometimes. There's going to be times where I'm working late at night. I have a kid. I can work during the day if he's in school, but if not, I'm doing a lot of the work at night, and by the time the time comes, I'm usually very tired. It is currently 7:30 at night here while I'm recording my voiceover, so it can take a lot of discipline for me to sit down and do work for a while before I relax for the evening, especially since I am up usually from about 6 o'clock in the morning. So discipline in that case is definitely something I want to do, but I also want to be sure that I am disciplined in relaxing as well. And that might sound kind of funny as a concept, because it seems like you should just be able to relax, but I found that I tend to not fully switch off from either thing. So if I am relaxing, if I'm watching a show or I'm doing a hobby, I find myself continuously thinking about work or doing something here or there, like a small thing, like going on and, you know, replying to comments, or maybe I'm sitting and like writing out like a caption, or I'm like researching something. And even if I am just like thinking about it, it's really hard then for me to feel like I've actually rested. And then in turn, when I'm working, I almost feel kind of frustrated because I know that I need to rest more. And I feel like that is basically just the recipe for burnout, because I'm not completely switching off one way or another. I'm not completely in work mode and I'm not completely in rest mode. So I want to be more disciplined with that and making sure that I'm spending time properly within the work kind of environment, and then having like a hard cutoff and making sure that I spend time in the evenings or during the day, whenever it is that I can, to do the things that I enjoy and completely switch off from work. Whether that means like muting notifications or changing up the environment that I'm in, because, you know, in the evenings that I'm spending working, I am in my office, but sometimes that's where I also do my hobbies or watch shows. So maybe I need to change up the environment or something like that. I will find ways to do it. But that is the intention. And again, the other thing was compassion. The reason that I chose that as a second word was because I want to be compassionate with myself and how I feel, and not be so hard on myself when it comes to things like what I had just been talking about. So, you know, if I do take a while to kind of get used to the idea of completely switching off, you know, I'm not going to beat myself up if I pick up my phone and start doing a little bit of work. I'm just going to have that serve as a reminder to find new ways that are going to help me improve my habits. Because beating myself up about it is really not going to do anything for me. I'm just going to feel shame, and that's not going to get me anywhere positive. So that is something I'm working on, and hopefully that will help me kind of improve my mood and my self-talk and things like that too. So instead of using those two words, after kind of thinking about it for a while and watching some other videos and kind of looking up different things online, on Pinterest, on different places, I came across the word harmony, and it made me think of yin and yang. You'll see in the background there, you maybe see the yin yang symbol. And I began looking that up, and I felt like this word really encompassed everything that I was thinking about, because really the reason behind me wanting to use the word discipline and compassion was because I wanted balance in my life when it came to things like personal and business stuff. I wanted to be able to have a really good balance with everything, but the word balance just didn't fit. And I think harmony works because it really has that feeling of peace and tranquility that I wanted when it came to how I thought about 2024 and how I wanted this vision board to feel and to look like. So when I seen the word, I knew immediately that this was the word that I needed for this year. So that is the one I decided on, and I'm happy that this is going to be what I can look back on anytime I feel like I'm struggling with my why for the year and my why for how I want to do things. And if you have a word of the year, I would love to know in the comments below. Okay, so here's where we get a little bit more specific. If you are interested in hearing more about what my actual goals are for the year, then keep listening. I have not really set anything in terms of numbers, but these are the things that I would like to work on the most throughout 2024. The very first one, and the overarching thing for the entire of the year, is community. I really want to grow and build my community more. I'm starting to see more people kind of commenting, more people involving themselves, and I'm really starting to see the kind of feeling of where I can take this community and what it can become the more that join along in this journey. You know, I've started this YouTube channel a long time ago, and it was before I even opened my business. And you know, at this point I now also have my Patreon as well. It took a long time for me to really hone in on exactly what it is I wanted to do. And eventually I got to the point where I realised that journaling was the big thing for me because of how it made me feel, because of how it helped with my mental health. And that is something that I want to focus on a lot more. I want to make sure that that's the message that I'm bringing across whenever I do my videos, whenever I sell my products, whenever I do things on Patreon. It's all to help everybody else understand what a benefit journaling can be, but in a way that makes sure that people realise that you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself. You know, journaling might not be for everybody, but there are so many ways that you can try it to see whether it works. And if it does, hopefully we can build a community together where we can all join in and share the joys that journaling can bring. We can, you know, exchange ideas and share the spreads that we've created and just have fun with it. And the next thing that I would love to do is to continue to work on my YouTube. I've become really consistent compared to what I used to be. I'm posting weekly with the odd break here and there, and I'm really, really proud of being able to do that. It's no easy feat filming and recording and editing and doing all the things every week, but I really enjoy it, so I want to keep prioritizing it, and I can really start to see more people joining in and watching and commenting, so it's really lovely to see the feedback. So if you've ever been lurking around, and if you like and you comment and you subscribe, or even if you just watch and you haven't commented or anything, I am super grateful for you. It is really nice to see that other people are enjoying the content as much as I am enjoying creating it. And thirdly, I want to focus a lot more on my drawing this year. I draw quite a lot anyway because I create illustrated products for my Etsy shop, but I really want to start to think a bit more intentionally about how I want my illustrations to look and how I want to evolve my art style. I really enjoy what I've come to so far with my illustrations, but the way that I create things in my journal and the way that I illustrate, I feel like there is a little bit of a disconnect. So I really want to think a bit more about how I'm approaching my illustrations and my drawings. And because now I have my Patreon where I create a journaling kit every month, it's kind of a perfect way for me to make sure that I'm practicing regularly and thinking a little bit more about how I want to draw things and illustrate things. So it's a perfect way for me to be able to have a consistent drawing practice, and I'm really excited to see where I am at this point next year after a whole year of creating super consistently with my drawing and illustrations. I have so much more that I want to do and achieve, and I have so many ideas that I'm going to be putting into my journal this year, but I don't want to overwhelm myself with a ton of different projects, so that's why I have my side quest pages in my journal to write down all my different ideas, everything that I want to do, everything I want to try, so that I can find pockets of time to start projects and see what it is I want to work on first instead of trying to do everything all at once. So I'm really excited for the year. I am excited for the different things that I am going to focus on most this year, and I can't wait to get really stuck in. I hope you enjoyed watching the video and you like how my spread turned out. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, stay cozy, and I will see you in the next one.